All right, Crypto Activator here, and welcome back to a live stream here, actually. So we're going to get started here today with a live stream. Just let me know if anybody could hear, put a comment loud, clear, everyone's good to hear. If anyone out there, let's see here. Who do we got out there? We've got Moonshot Max. Excellent. Experience Crypto. Theta. FJ. Let me see. Am I muted? All good. Oh, excellent. Excellent. People can hear. Fantastic. Okay, so we've got a great live stream AMA that's queued up here for today. We are going to be talking with Hustleman Matt. This is a developer. This is one of the devs for Paul Strip. Now, if you haven't been following Paul Strip at all, man, this is time you better start paying attention to what Paul Strip is, because this has been pretty exciting. This is the first week. It's only launched like what, 3, 4, just over 4 or 5 days ago now. So it's just getting started. It's the first week. You are at the beginning of a fantastic ecosystem, as far as I'm concerned. Now, hey, I may be biased, but I think it's a great opportunity to start earning some passive income with this ecosystem. But I want to get Hustleman Matt here, the dev, on a live stream. I'm going to ask him some questions. It's open for you guys to ask some questions as well. Type the questions in the chat. Try and stay on cue here. If we don't get to them, we can get to them at the end. We'll see how this goes. But this is going to be an exciting live stream. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Hustleman Matt on right away here. All right. Excellent.
What's up, guys? What's up, Activated?
Hey.
Thanks for having me on, brother.
Yeah, excellent. Glad you're here. Glad you're on the live stream here with me. This is going to be exciting. All right. Yeah, excellent, guys. So let's start off with a little bit of introduction here, Matt. Tell us a little bit about who you are. Basically, who's Hustleman Matt, right? And how'd you get started in crypto? What role do you play in the in this ecosystem, in this project, Paul Strip, and any other projects that you've been working on or anything like that?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Hustleman Matt. I'm actually one of the co-founders of Paul Strip. So I have another partner of mine. We work hand in hand together, Eric the Bandit. So we come up with the concepts, the ideas, the mechanics behind Paul Strip, the ecosystem. And we do have a developer that we also work with, and he basically brings our ideas to life. So we come up with I guess the brains, you could say, behind it, and then he does all the magical coding. But I'm an entrepreneur. I've done quite a few things to make ends meet. That's where I got the moniker, I guess you could say, Hustle Man. Always got some type of side hustle or something, doing something to try to fulfill my dreams, just like anybody out there. Everybody has their own ambitions and goals. So I kind of gave myself the moniker Hustle Man because I was doing all kind of crazy side hustles to make ends meet. And, crypto kind of fell into that. So I do have some sales background. I was in sales. I used to do automotive sales. I really got into fitness for a while. I was personal training. That's actually how I met my partner, Eric. Eric was a gym owner at the time. This is leading up to the pandemic. And I enjoyed working out there. I was doing powerlifting. At the time, I had some motivation to lift some heavy weights. It seems passive income makes you a little lazy. I don't I don't too care much for lifting as crazy like I was. But I met Eric at the gym. He allowed me to train some clients out of the gym leading up to the pandemic. And, that's when things kind of changed. I realized I wasn't really as stable financially as I thought I was. The gym had to close temporarily. A lot of my clients fell off. So, I'm back trying to find another hustle. What can I do to, earn some income? So I was fortunate, because I was a small business owner. I was able to get some funding, from like the government and stuff like that. And I was just looking for opportunity and came across crypto. So start watching, channels like Experience Crypto 24/7. That was one of the first YouTube channels I started watching. From him, learned about some other channels, like Stunner Breezy, some of these guys that are popular now, and just kind of start following their plays and seeing what they were doing, learning, getting into the game. One of my first experiences in crypto, one of the first projects I got into, made like 10K in like 4 weeks, just building the network, and it was crazy. I was hooked, and I always kind of had a passion to want to be able to vet other projects and find other opportunities, for the people who were, following me, and that's kind of how my journey started in crypto. And through that, it led me into Drip. Drip was the one platform that really just kind of made life-changing money for me. I made some profits here and there. I took some losses. I kind of got my, I guess, earned my stripes, you could say. But Drip was actually, the one that really just kind of changed things for me. It allowed me to, not hustle as much, kind of do some passive income. I started doing some YouTube videos, sharing with people, building a team and stuff like that. And I had lost connection with Eric. We hadn't talked in a little while. And sure enough, I come across him in the drip chat. So I messaged him. I'm like, "Hey, bro, what are you doing here?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, you here too?" I'm like, "Yeah." So it was really cool because we know each other, in real life. A lot of crypto, we communicate, people all across the world. So it's rare that you find somebody, personally, that they're kind of into the same things that we are into. And so myself and Eric, we both kind of shared the same passion. He said that he wanted to develop a project, and I was like, "Man, I actually want to do something too." And so we kind of from there started connecting again together. I don't think it's been a day since then that we haven't talked to each other. We talk we talk to each other daily. And so from there, we wanted to start building our own projects, our own opportunities, and sharing along with the community. So that's been a little over a year now, going on a year and a half. We've been developing multiple projects now, building our community, establishing our trust in the community, and ultimately leading us up here to now Pulse Drip.
Yeah, excellent. There's something, a theme or whatever you call it, that I find in successful people that are in crypto and that have doing very well, making good money, succeeding in crypto, developing projects, creating the income and the life that they want, is something that's been the same with everybody is they've all lost money. You've all gone through the hard times. Everybody's failed. Everybody is not a failure because you kept on going, right? But I mean, there's those mistakes, there's losses that have happened in crypto. And I've never met anybody that's just got into crypto day one, boom, they've never made a loss. Everything's been perfect right till the end game, right? If that's the case, then they're about to experience, I believe, that loss anytime soon, right? Because people are going through all those losses, all through those mistakes, through that learning curve in order to get to where they are. And if you're not, here's something else that I heard is if you're not losing money in DeFi, if you haven't lost any money in DeFi, then you're just not trying to make money hard enough, because you got to go through that experience. So you know what not to do, you know what to do, it's all those experiences that develop you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're exactly right. It's not fun going through those experiences, of course. And I also try, and I know like channels like yours, we try to bring quality opportunity to people to try to help them avoid some of those things. So that's kind of why I started. I have a small channel. I actually want to get into creating more content again here soon. But that's exactly why I want to share the word, because if you can, you want to help people avoid it. But like you said, it's also kind of like a rite of passage. Sometimes you have to go through that to be able to learn, what not to do. You're a kid, you put that hand on the stove, you say that's hot. You're like, I'm not going to do that again, right?
Yeah. Even if it's small things, by sending, the wrong token to, sending, for example, like on Avalanche, I've done this before. So you send the USDC instead of USDCE when it's going through a bridge, and that's just a small it's a small e for a small
Mm-hmm.
mistake, right? But it's something like that, or you're sending to the wrong contract, or you end up funding honeypots and different things like that throughout crypto. You learn what all these. What's a honeypot? Well, one day you'll find out, right? You know, all of these things. Look at the chart; it's just going up. Okay, you want to question that? you know, uh,
Yeah.
Welcome to honeypots, right? A lot of people experience stuff like that. I think you just have to. And it's just that's why then eventually you learn that you gotta use risk management. You gotta be careful as you enter into projects and stuff like that, right? And that's why it's great having you on here, right? Having a live person, having a live dev, having somebody on a live stream where people can come and you can take a look at the face. You can hear the voice. You can hear somebody's experience and you can hear their voice and what they're saying, how they're saying it behind the project, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of them out there just, they're ghosted, they're anonymous. You don't know what's going on. You're like, is it going to be here tomorrow? Because we all experience those too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, absolutely. So yeah, let's get into this Paul strip here, right? Because this thing just launched, right? I mean, Paul strip launched what, barely a week ago, not even a week ago, right?
Yeah.
We're
So
on what,
today is what? Today
45
is
now, right?
today is Saturday, and we launched on Monday.
Yeah.
So
And look
yeah,
at this. It's going phenomenal, right? I mean, like, congratulations, by the way, on such a phenomenal, smooth launch.
thank you.
I didn't even know that. I didn't expect it to go up this high, even the price of the token. And that's
Neither
not
did I.
even really what matters the most part. This is all about creating passive income, right? I mean, it could stay the same. It could stay at this price, I think, for a long time. And I'd be happy because we're in here, we're getting the passive income coming in, and that's great. If it starts to rise, hey, that's a bonus, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And look at this thing go up. It launched at like $2.50 at the public launch, went up to like $60, 65, 60 plus dollars, and it came down a bit here now, but whatever. It's got to find a little bit of ground. It's still doing pretty good compared to where it started, right? So, yeah, a couple of sentences. Someone comes, I know someone asked me yesterday, in a couple of sentences, well, what's this about? What's Paul Strip about, right? Just briefly, what would you say?
Yeah. So I guess to maybe answer it briefly, it's a token on a new blockchain, a relatively new blockchain called Pulse Chain that has a lot of early growth potential. And you can buy this token and stake it or deposit it into what we call a faucet. And by depositing those funds, your principal is locked, but you begin to earn 1% daily on that principal in the amount of tokens that you deposit. So um, it's not necessarily based on like USD value, but it's more so 1% a day on the value of those tokens, and the value of those tokens can go up and go down up to 365% return on those tokens. So I would say that is kind of like a short, maybe like you
Yeah,
say, elevator pitch, just kind of high
yeah,
level overview of what Pulse Strip is.
yeah. All right. Yeah, no, that's good. Excellent. Why, why the name Paul Strip, right? And I asked this because, Moonshot Max, he brought it to me, right? He
Mm-hmm.
introduced, he told me about this. I looked at it very briefly. I looked Paul Strip. Oh, okay, all right. We're familiar. Well, not everybody's familiar with,
Mm-hmm.
the Drip network that's on the BNB chain, right? But some people are. And, I'm familiar with that. I was like, oh, okay, another fork, a fork of Drip network. Okay, all right. Well, I mean, everybody comes up with these forks, whether it be, forks of BNB miner, all these mining contracts, and they don't last long. They're gone right away, or even if they last a couple of days, right, because they rugged or something, right? So that kind of puts up flags sometimes, right? When you see this, and I see the exact same name, and I heard of other forks of Drip Network, and they didn't last. I'm like, wow, all right, what is this? Is that Forex? Is it Forex that did this? Right? And he said, oh no, it's not Forex. It's a whole new code. It's different. Okay. All right. So then I looked at it and, looked more into it. And and I'm glad I did, and I'm glad I took a chance, a small chance with this. All right. But why did you come up with the name Paul Strip, and why did you want to copy it that way? What was your story behind this?
Yeah, so myself, Eric, and I, we saw post chain, opening up. Had a lot of anticipation. People were looking to get into this thing for about 2 years now. So we were also excited and wanting to get into post chain to maybe bring some projects over there. We had a project previously, our very first project. It was called the Bandit Project. So something we were like, maybe we can bring that over to post chain and see. So these were kind of ideas. To be honest, it wasn't even really it wasn't a top priority because we have another project, a utility project on BSC called Burn Swap. So we were looking to continue to build on it and provide some extra use case towards it. But we have some friends, of course, on throughout Telegram, and one of them messaged me, and he was in the group, and the guy said, "Does anybody know a dev that could just fork drip on post chain?" And so he forwards me the message, and I look at it, and I'm like, I don't know. Uh, you know, I send a message to Eric, who was like, I mean, we can maybe put our other project. I mean, we have an ROI style project. Maybe we can bring that to post chain, and we start talking about it. And then Eric asked me, he's like, hey, if would you invest in post strip? And I was like, yeah, probably. And he was like, I would too. And so we thought about it. I got into the chat. I started chatting with the guy who had the idea. He goes by FQ. He's in the chat. He's very bullish on the project. And I was like, man, I don't know, man. Calling it drip. And he was just like, for lack of better words, he was just like, fuck him. I was like, what? Who cares, right? Who cares? We knew, of course, Drip has a community. We were in Drip, like I mentioned before. I really was successful off Drip. So I've always, I always loved Drip. I've never had anything bad to say about it. But we knew I was listening to the community. I've seen it. A lot of people have been asking for a Drip type of project on Post Chain. Developer Drip Forex, he's come out and said that he doesn't want to develop on Post Chain. So, we saw that opportunity there. If he says he was going to come out with it, I probably wouldn't have tried to, do that, but that opportunity was there. A lot of people in the community were there. It was getting to a point where, people were looking for, a fresh opportunity. So we just said, hey, who cares? It's going to be some good that comes from it. It's going to be some bad that comes with it. But all that attention is good for getting exposure to the project. So really, the name is kind of more of a marketing ploy, because a lot of people are familiar with Drip, and by seeing that name, it makes them at least take a look at it, right? So that's kind of where we came up with the name. And I think, in my personal opinion, I think we're here on this AMA, this live stream now because of the name. It gave us a foot in the door. It gave us an opportunity to present what we have. And like you said, we had all fresh code. We didn't copy any code as far as like the mechanics of Drip. We did use some similar name, kind of took the theming, kind of paying homage to Drip. So some people look at it as paying homage. Some people may look at it, as piggybacking. But ultimately, it was something, good. It's good marketing, basically. And so we used some of the wording, kind of made it a theme around Drip, put it on the post chain, added the post chain colors to it, and here we are now.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's good. Just want to bring up the website here right now. But I don't mind either. I really don't care. Now that we're in here, now that we see it, it's Pulse Strip. It is what it is. And like you said, Pulse Chain and Drip. I got involved with Drip. I was a late guy to Drip myself. So I obviously didn't do as well. Kind of dollar cost averages my way all the way down to the bottom almost, right? Uh, Over the past probably about almost a year, right? Myself. So I wasn't one of the early guys with Drip. I looked at it for a while, and I was looking and looking and looking, didn't fully understand it. And there's probably a lot of other people as well out there, and they're looking at Paul Strip and they don't get it, right?
Hmm.
But that's the thing is, well, when you do get it, you're gonna get that, you're gonna, wow, actually that's pretty cool. And then when you get into Paul Strip, it's gonna be even better because of what you implemented here. And that's what we're gonna talk about more in this stream here, right? But Pulse Chain, I'm super, super bullish on Pulse Chain. I love the whole ecosystem. I like what's going on. And then I look at Drip, or this Pulse Drip on Pulse Chain, and it's like, well, if it ain't going to rug, if it's going to be a legit ecosystem, this is going to be great, guys. This is going to be good. And not only that, but right now, today, having the opportunity to get involved with this at the beginning, when I missed out on the beginning of Drip on the BNB chain, I'm on Pulse chain and I get to get involved with this at the beginning. Now that is totally awesome. I love that, man. I feel so blessed, man, to be able to be here at this time, at this point of this ecosystem, at the beginning of this. That's just great. Okay. So,
That's a great point that you bring up because I was one of the first people to get into Drip. I did get in on the Drip pre-sale, and think about this: BNB at the time, I put 5 BNB into the pre-sale. I actually saved the transaction. I still have it saved to my bookmarks. I saved the transaction. I knew something special was going to happen. That 5 BNB was worth $2,500 at the time. So it was $500 of BNB. Now, so that means the BNB chain had already got a lot of exposure, and so we have so much potential, being on Pulse Chain because it's such a new blockchain that we haven't even hit, its stride yet. So not only is this a new opportunity with maybe getting a fresh start with Drip on Pulse Chain, but what if this is we could see some of the same potential that BNB had on the BNB chain by being an early investor in Pulse. So
oh yeah.
that's very exciting.
Oh, absolutely. Right. And like let's talk about this. Look at this here. This is the dashboard, right? Now, I mean, looking at this, okay, we got the price $37.91 right now for the price. I know it launched at $2.50. It went up to 60. It came back down here, but there's some stuff on here that people don't quite realize just yet, right? I don't know exactly what the supply is of, the other Drip, or, what other stuff out there, right? It's huge, right? But you look at the supply for number one, look at the supply here of Pulse Drip, guys, right? Total supply is 5 million. 5 million tokens. Do you understand in crypto how small of a supply 5 million tokens is for a total supply? And from my understanding, if I understand this correct, Matt, this isn't going to continue to be minting more and more and more tokens. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, that's something that we saw as a something that we can improve upon on the original Drip. And I even think, Forex didn't think originally when he came out with Drip that it was going to be minting tokens at the rate that it ended up doing. I think it was kind of like a safe haven that he put into the contract if it got to the point where it needed to mint tokens. But I don't think he ever anticipated it, really needing to do that. So that's been a popular subject. It's like it's only 5 million tokens. Well, what happens? Because people are already kind of looking ahead, seeing what's happened with Drip and looking ahead to the future, and not necessarily understanding some of the mechanics behind Pulse Drip. But that is a very bullish sentiment. Is that there is a limited supply. So there's only 5 million tokens in the supply. That's about 5 times the original amount of Drip's total supply. And basically, most of the supply is locked into the rewards pool. So you actually have to get into the faucet to be able to access. I kind of look at it as like a pot of gold. So it's a pot of gold waiting over the horizon, and you have to have a rite of passage to be able to access this pot of gold.
Okay. All right. Okay. I get that. That's good. So right now we're looking at a circulating supply of 6,413 tokens. Like that's a circulating supply right now. Where
Mm-hmm.
are those tokens? Or So you're saying the rest of those tokens of that 5 million right now is sitting in the rewards pool, and the only way to access those is through the rewards of using this protocol, right? Where's this circulating supply right here? And what happens
So
when those drain?
yeah, that's a good question. So this circulating supply actually started off on Monday at 25,000. 20,000 tokens went to supplying liquidity to the actual exchange, the DEX. Right now, our NDAP swap is an extension of PulseX. So we provided liquidity to PulseX. And then we also originally we had 5,000 team tokens that we wanted to over time through the taxes. We wanted to pair that up with more liquidity to strengthen our rewards pool. Man, we didn't know we didn't know that the price would jump up from 250 all the way up to $65. So the price kind of got away from us relatively quickly. And we have some people who are intelligent in the community, which is a good thing. So people watch and see who are the biggest holders. And our development wallet was the biggest holder. It had like 5,000 tokens in there, and once that price got up there relatively quickly, it's a large amount of tokens that are liquid. So that raises some concerns for people because they say even though we have good intentions, they say, hey, that's a lot of tokens that can be potentially sold on the market. Just makes people a little weary. So what we decided to do was we'd actually deposited those tokens into a faucet, which means those tokens are now all into the rewards pool, that pot of gold that I was telling you about. And if we need to do marketing, or if we want to pair some more LPs, we can actually take it out of a faucet and do so now. So that actually reduced the circulating supply. So a lot of people saw that. They say, what happened to those tokens? So that's what we did. We actually did that yesterday. So that's something bullish for the community. Just shows another level of trust that the team doesn't have a bunch of tokens that can just be released into circulation. From there, what we're looking at now, this number that we have on the screen is the amount of tokens that are either available on the DEX to be traded, or the tokens that are in holders' wallets. So that's what we're looking at here. So this is partly why that the price was able to see the increase that we saw, because there is a limited supply available on the DEX. And as more trades are happening, the DEX, makes those adjustments. It says, hey, these tokens are scarce. So that means, the more people that are buying them, the higher the price. So that's why this thing has such moon potential. Is because there's low supply on the DEX, and kind of what I mentioned, because because of that low supply and the price being a lot higher, I think a lot of people like seeing that. People love seeing a nice looking price. They love seeing those gains. But that also increases your rite of passage to be able to access that other 4.9 million tokens, right? So now it's like you kind of have to earn that right to be able to get that. If you want to earn passive income and earn more of these expensive tokens, then you actually have to put some skin in the game to be able to get that. And so that's kind of the idea behind it. As more people are into the faucet, claiming their tokens, then more tokens come into circulation. So it's kind of a give and take, right? So you have to be able to access the faucet to be able to get tokens out. As people are taking profits, those tokens go back into circulation, which gives opportunities for people who are looking to get in. So the more tokens on the in circulation, typically that means probably the price will be a little bit lower. As the circulation comes down, the price will be a little higher. So people should be coming in and out of the faucet, which should allow for the 5 million tokens to kind of replenish themselves. So that's kind of the idea behind it. It's kind of a bit of an exclusive right to be able to get these tokens. So not everybody, unfortunately, not everybody can be able to get into it. That's one improvement that we wanted to make upon Drip, because we saw there was a large level of inflation, because any and everybody could get into a faucet, make as many faucets as you want, airdrop tokens back to yourself, get a new faucet. And we saw people start to abuse the freedom. It was great because Forex gave us a level of freedom, in drip, to allow us to move, a certain way, but people over time abused it. And that's why we saw that inflation and, those things. So we had to set some parameters to make this a little bit more exclusive so that so we can kind of protect the price.
Okay. All right. Nice. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. I like that. So the 1% isn't necessarily coming from the circulating supply, but it's coming from all the rest that's in that pool locked, and you need to be able to lock up yours in order to get the ones that are locked up. That's good. That makes sense. I like that.
Yep.
Okay. Much more clarity. So over here, just quickly over into the docks, right? You've got, let's see here, right here, the anti-whale mechanics. You
Hmm.
want to talk about these anti-whale mechanics because, you know, this is important. And I think this is what people really need to understand. What really sets this protocol or this ecosystem apart from, yeah, from the other drip, from other stuff that's out there. And this here is really key to making this sustainable, I believe myself. What would you
Yeah.
say?
Yeah. So we use the term anti-whale mechanics. That's, maybe a familiar term, through the community, anti-whale. But in actuality, we like whales. We need whales. We need people with, large amounts of capital to come in and help us provide liquidity. It makes trading more stable for everyone. So rather than kind of punish whales, because in other protocols, you know, the more sometimes the more that the whale has, they get higher taxes. Sometimes it can get outrageous, up to 25-30% tax to do normal transactions. So we didn't want to necessarily punish the whales, but we wanted to create some limitations that they could do within the system so it doesn't negatively affect the system. So we did a few things to do that. One, we lowered the max supply that you can get out of one faucet, or I should say max payout, rather. So you can only deposit up to 10,000 tokens per faucet. And in turn, it'll give you out 36,500 versus like a drip. Your faucet would pay a max payout of drip tokens, I think, at 100,000 tokens. So you can see it's almost 3 times as less the amount of tokens that you can get per one faucet. So somebody can't just come in, compound to the high heavens, and then essentially just withdraw a bunch of tokens. So that's one thing that we wanted to do. These faucets have I guess you could say like a shorter time period on how much tokens you can actually take out of it, since we reduced the max payout. So that's one. There's also a 7-day reward cutoff, accumulation cutoff. So what that means is after 7 days of inactivity, if somebody is not coming in and interacting with the DApp and either claiming or compounding their rewards, their available rewards, then the rewards will stop accumulating until you come and make an action. And the reason why we implemented this is because some people may lose interest. Some people may not want to be engaging in the in the project. They may put a bunch of money in there and they go about their business. They come back in a year and then they have all these large rewards. I've even seen it, even with some of my family. My dad, my sister, I put them in the drip, and every once in a while I'll be like, "Hey, are you paying attention to this thing?" And they're like, "No." And then I go in there and my dad has like $500 sitting there. I'm like, "Hey man, you got $500 sitting here, bro." And he's like, "Oh," he's happy. I just gave him $500, but we want people to be engaged with this. So we don't want, people to come back a year from now and just have, so much tokens in here and that just slaps the price. So that's something that not only helps with engagement, making sure people are active with their investment, but it prevents any large sell-offs of the token. So that's the 7-day reward accumulation. Something else that was pretty unique that I saw happen with Drip A lot of people would hit their max payout. Maybe they didn't hit the amount of deposits, so they still have room to grow their account, but they just hit their max payout for the amount of tokens that they put in, and they hit max payout, and then they'll say, okay, now I'm going to compound until I can get some more tokens out. Well, that doesn't fly on Post Drip. So once you hit your max payout, no more tokens can be added. So you got to be careful and watchful of that. So that's something else that we implemented. A really unique feature that we implemented. This idea actually stemmed from another community member from our previous project. And this is when you make a claim, when someone makes a claim, the tokens that you withdrawn are taken from the locked amount, that compounded interest that you have that actually decreases by the amount that is being withdrawn. So what that means is if you put in 100 tokens and you compound up to 20, when you claim those 20 tokens, your deposit amount comes back to down to 100. So that will never dip below your real deposits. So that's also another incentive for people to increase their actual real deposits because as you claim, your interest comes back down, and that's similar in real life. In the banking system, if you gain interest, if you you take that money out, then that's your interest. But in the same light, this is also DeFi. This is DGen crypto. So rather than you eating up your full interest and your full deposit amount, we kept it to where it will never dip below your real deposit. So those are a few of the safeguards that we put in place to kind of help maintain the project's health and ultimately allowing us to gather the community support and continue to onboard new members.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, these are all good. These are great. I mean, I'm glad you implemented these mechanics here. And that 7-day reward accumulation cutoff, you know, people don't understand how powerful that one there is, because that is good, because that really keeps people, it keeps them into the game. It keeps them playing this. It keeps them using this protocol for what it's meant to be. Like you said, instead of just putting a bunch of money in and then going about your business, going about your life. What is this noise?
So
What's going on?
it's a motorcycle that flies by
Okay.
probably like
I thought
once
all
or
of a sudden
twice
I'm
a
getting
day.
some feedback here or something, right? But
Yeah.
this 7-day reward accumulation cutoff, right? It, like you said, it prevents people from putting in a bunch of funds and then just leaving it and let it sit, because that there right now, I believe, is one of the biggest problems of what's happening over on the other side, right? Is because people just let them sit, and they let them sit for. And I've seen screenshots. I've seen people's videos where they're showing, they don't have a huge amount in there, but the amount that they've got stacked up that they could easily just dump, it was all liquid, was phenomenal. It was huge. It's like, how did you get like that? Because, and that's what happened. And that's what they're doing, is it's just tanking, and it's all just being drained. And with this, well, it keeps you accountable to playing and participating with what it's meant to do. It's meant to compound. It's meant to create a passive income. It's meant to create a paycheck. And if you keep playing this right, it's going to last and it's going to do well. And that's why I'm glad you implemented that, because you're not going to see huge amounts of people's wallets sitting with liquid P drip that you got to worry about. I really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about that faucet now, because you got some more stuff involved with that faucet here, right? That's right here. Look at this. Okay, so you got some key things that are involved with this faucet, like the 5,000 faucets that are limited to, right? What happens with that? How's that work? And then what happens when that limit's reached?
So just to kind of give like some backstory on the faucet and just like I guess some more insight. It's funny because me and Eric kind of talk about these things, and we keep our ear to the ground and we watch channels like yours, and we see the videos that come out. And there's one guy, Stupid DeFi, he was like, man, these guys are smart, because I didn't know that the faucet was an NFT. And so that was actually something that we strategically, the way we tried to present it, because in our other project we use the word NFT, and we try to reach out to people and say, hey man, we'll gift you this NFT and make sure passive income. And for a lot of people, they hear the NFT and they're like, no man, I don't do NFTs. So it's like sometimes it creates a roadblock because people may not even be open-minded when they hear the word NFT. But what that actually did for us is that it created a crazy utility and flexibility with what you're able to do with the faucet. So basically we have 5,000 faucets that we made available, and we set a limit or a minimum, I should say, of the amount of P-drip tokens that you can get into the faucet. So we set that minimum at 10. Now, for the people who, took a risk and got in, at launch, they were able to get into the faucet a little easier than, maybe some people who are looking to get started now. But what that does is it allows us to, again, it's that, exclusivity of getting into the faucet, because the faucets are limited. Not everybody can just grab one. Right. So there's a limit of 5,000. We kind of took that number. We felt like it was a good number. It wasn't too little. It wasn't too much based on, what our experience from our other project. But the cool thing about it is if that 5,000 is reached, we do have flexibility, within the project to be able to add more, make more available. So I've been seeing in a few chats, some people like 5,000 faucets. Oh man, that's stupid, but not understanding or asking the questions to understand, that more can be made available. And the reason why we kept it at that is it allows us to evaluate the project health. Maybe we get in, at 5,000 faucets and we say, hey, the rewards are maybe coming out, a little bit faster than we would like. I don't think it's a good time to be adding more, faucets there. Maybe we should, get to a point where things kind of level out. Then maybe we can make some more available. So that's something that, we have the potential to do in the future. And kind of why we came up with, that 5,000 faucets. So far, it's been around, I want to say 550-ish people that have made or opened a faucet. Of course, as the price increased, it's a little bit more difficult to get faucets. Again, so that kind of slows down, these things being minted out as quickly. And then as, people take profits and, sometimes the price corrects, that gives other people, opportunities to be able to open a faucet. So you have to take advantage of these, opportunities to be able to get in, get out, and be able to open a faucet. Another utility, another flexibility that we had is that you can have multiple faucets per one wallet. So, in Drip, you had to create a new wallet to be able to get into the faucet. And, people created multiple of these wallets, and, it could be a headache going from wallet to wallet, trying to keep up with things. So what's cool is you can have multiple in one wallet. And then with that, you can even gift them. You can send them to another wallet. You can resell them for the amount of tokens that you have in there. If somebody agrees, you bought it for $100 and the value has appreciated and is worth, $300 now, and you want to sell it for $250, and somebody sees that as a good deal, you can do that because it's the flexibility of an NFT. So this was something that was, really we felt like was a game changer. We actually did this on BSC with our first project. It just didn't get the full traction because, Drip is such a big project. It kind of sometimes overshadows some other projects. But these are some things that we already had. We've been testing on BSC for over a year now. So we kind of used that experience, and brought it over to a new chain, and then able to use the excitement around it for people to utilize it. And now that, we got the user base and people are excited, now people see it as kind of like, oh man, this is, you guys really thought this through. So, it feels good to, be able to, see some of your ideas and things come to light once you get the actual users to implement it.
Yeah, that's good. We got a question right here that was you mentioned that the rewards dry up and it's game over. I'm not quite sure I understand this drying up here. But how long do you think this is going to last? He's saying is like, I don't understand what he's mean by dry up. Do you know?
Yeah, so I don't think we use the word dry up in particular, but I think what he's maybe referring to is like if the rewards pool doesn't have any more rewards in it. So it's kind of what I mentioned. Um, we have these things in place. So like we can look at Drip for instance. Drip was going for a solid, I want to say year, maybe year and a half before it minted like even one token. And this is at a million supply, right? So we have 5 million, but we're actually treating it as if it's 1 million. So these are a couple things. That's one thing for one. We mentioned the level of entry is a lot higher now, so not everybody can get in. You can't just get in with $20. And mint a faucet right now. At the current price is probably around 400, some $450. So that looks good on the chart. So you have people who are putting more capital into this rewards pool to be able to get some out. And then it's that ebb and flow. So this thing could last for a long time. Of course, we can never predict what happens in DeFi. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. We have a few things in place as well. I'm sure we'll talk about it, as we go on in the live stream. But we have, plans for the ecosystem to continue to build on it and really make this thing, go for a long time.
Right. Okay. FJ Crypto here mentions that, they could always buy a faucet on the marketplace, once the 5K is reached. Where's the marketplace? What's the marketplace that he's referring to here?
So Postchain is relatively new, so there are a few NFT marketplaces. So simply by copying and adding the contract address from the NFT, you can go on our Telegram and type in contracts, and it'll bring up all the list of contracts. You can highlight the NFT, add that contract to your MetaMask, and then you can search for it on a couple popular NFT marketplaces. One that I've been using, a couple of members have been using, is called Beatbox. It's a relatively new marketplace. For some reason, it's not picking up the actual image of our faucet, but you're still able to trade the NFT. So you can actually go on there. You can even connect your wallet there, and you'll be able to see your NFT pop up. You can list it for sale there, and people can go and trade. We actually had one person, Crypto Holger. He got in on the pre-sale, made a couple faucets, and he sold one yesterday, I think for around like 1,900 or $2,000, somewhere around there. It was like at a 30% discount of what the value was at the point of sale. And he was excited. He was like, hey, I was able to, trade this NFT and get a lump sum back. So that was really cool. So that's something, some flexibility that you have. So right now, Beatbox is one. There is one other, I think it's called pulsemarket.io, I want to say, that you can trade on there. There may be potential in the future. We haven't really talked about it, but maybe we can even have like an internal marketplace where people can see, available faucets. But right now, those two mediums, people can go and trade their faucets. I've already seen some people in the chats say, hey, I got this available if anybody's interested. So that's something that, maybe somebody new getting in, they might want to, find a deal. You can maybe check there to see if there's any, available. We actually on the dashboard, if you go to the dashboard activator, this is what the faucet lookup is for. So
Yes.
see that. So like when you go to, let's say, Beatbox, and you go on there, you're saying this person is selling this faucet for this amount, and you want to see if that's a good deal or not, because they could be claiming the rewards on it. You want to see what the max payout is, right? You can type in the ID of any NFT, and then hit it. You can just like pick a number, I guess, one in between. You get one, yeah, and it'll bring up and tell you the stats for that NFT. So you can say, based on your judgment, you can say, this might be a good deal, or no, this might not be a good deal, and then you can trade for that NFT on the open marketplace.
That's pretty cool. That's good. Wow. Excellent. Wow, you guys, that's good, man. Like NFTs that are actually, have value, like true value, not just because they're a JPEG with, I say it's worth this much. No, this one's worth this much because this one will pay you this much, right?
Yeah.
That's
So that
buying
was
buying real estate, right?
correct. So that was the roadblock that we faced by calling it an NFT, because these
Yeah.
NFTs have different value, but because a lot of people are just accustomed to maybe an image, being attached to the NFT, they don't necessarily give it an opportunity. So we took the theming, of course, with Drip, called it a faucet. So we say, hey, open a faucet, but essentially, this NFT has value that can pay you in daily returns.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So you've got this faucet spitting out passive income, right? Spitting out 1% a day with these P-drip tokens. But not only that, now you've also got this over here. You've got the garden.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, check this out. Like this is like the garden. I put some PLS in here, and this is great. I like this because, like I said, I'm bullish on Pulse Chain, right? I'm bullish on the PLS token. It's low right now. It's just, it's down in the bottoms, right? In the depths of destruction, right? But that's opportunity for those that understand it. And this PLS is going to rise, guys. It's going to do well. And with this garden, you can put some PLS in and it's PLS out. It's not put PLS in and then something else comes out, right? You're earning PLS with this. Like, this is great. You want to talk about this a bit here? Like,
Yeah, for sure. So the garden is awesome, man. The garden in itself could be a standalone DApp. It could be its own project.
yeah,
I'm glad people I think are starting to understand it more. For people who are more familiar with Drip, there was a garden in Drip, and it was completely different. We just kind of took the theming. But because of how the garden was in Drip, people said, I don't know, I'm not too keen on it. I don't know if I'm going to go in it. Just to kind of explain briefly the difference on that, the garden was kind of more of a miner style project. These were projects that have a basically you stake it, you can compound your earnings, but they have a decay in value of your earnings. So you have to kind of compound to keep up that value. And some people just kind of lose track of it. They're not able to compound as more people coming in. They're not able to keep up with the inflation of miners. So because of that, a lot of people were like hesitant on our version of it. But this is more like of a ROI style. It's actually very similar to the faucet, where instead you just put in Pulse. It earns 1.5% a day on the value of Pulse tokens that you put inside. And it pays out in Pulse tokens. There is a 10% deposit and a 10% claim fee. The deposits and claims the deposits go towards buying back P-Drip, as well as referral commissions. So it pays out some referral rewards. And then the claims go back to, again, buying back a portion of P-Drip and then putting the PLS back into the system to continue paying. So this is really cool. We actually just automated the process of the buybacks. So I know that was something a lot of people were asking. We had it in our white paper. Initially, the way that we had the contracts from our other project and brought it over to Pulse, it wasn't an automated feature. But now we've gotten that cleaned up here as of yesterday, and it's already starting to buy back. I think it's bought back at this point about $200 or $300 worth of P-Drip. So as people continue to get in the garden, they're going to be supporting P-Drip because we're going to be doing automatic buybacks. And so once you get into the garden, you deposit your Pulse. It starts generating rewards. We did set some tighter parameters around this, again, to keep people actively in their investments and then to keep this thing going for a long time. So a few of those things are you have to compound 3 times before you're able to claim once. So that's a unique feature. You are able to stack your available claims. So if you want to compound 6 times, and now you have 2 claims available, and so on and so forth. You can stack the amount of claims that you have. So that's pretty cool there. Um, and there's a 24-hour action timeout. So you can't just hyper compound in the system, or just hyper claim. You can only claim or compound once every 24 hours. All right. So there is an action timeout, and then this one has a 48-hour window of rewards accumulation. So people who are really looking to earn, this one goes up to 300% in Pulse. You're going to be actively engaged with your investment, because once, basically, you want to come here at least once every 2 days to either compound or claim. So these are some of the things that we implemented, and just similar to the faucet, your claims decrease the amount that you have staked. So when people claim, the amount staked that they compounded up to comes back down as well, and that would never dip below your real deposits. So this is something kind of what I look at. I look at this as like a huge, like a global crowdfund of Pulse. This, if this thing grows, man, it's almost at right now. It's almost at 1 billion Pulse in the garden. It's, I think, at 900 million right now. So we're closing in on 1 billion Pulse. So as we come together as a community and we say, hey, we're going to put our Pulse here, and we're going to park it, and we're just going to take out rewards. Kind of like a drip, a drip of rewards. We take it out as we need it. And you're earning passive income, you're getting an ROI on it. The price of Pulse increases over time. This is something that we'll say, man, this is sweet. Like I know for myself, if I put in $100 and I made $200 off of it, I want to keep that going. So this is something I kind of look at as a wheel churning. People are going to take profit, but they're going to want to go back in because they want to keep this going. And so as more people go in and come out, and Pulse is growing, and we have these parameters set in where nobody can abuse it, this thing can also last for a very long time. So the garden is a beast, man. It's a beast in itself.
Yeah, absolutely. I look at it this way. I like, not just looking at it as like, well, I'm going to make 3x my Pulse. I'm going to make 3x my money. And I don't look at it that way. I look at it, like you say, having a faucet that's going to drip out PLS, right? Just imagine this: when you get up to the point, even if you get yourself up to the point of, a million PLS coming out on it, I don't know what you need for that, but if you got a million PLS that's going to drip out on a daily basis, even, well, you're not going to take it out every day. But if you compound even 5-6 days a week, just keep doing that, and then you just allow yourself, say, hey, once a week I get a new fresh 1 million PLS tokens, right? And that 1 million PLS tokens, that goes into my HODL bag, right? And we are still deep in the bear market. We're still in the bottoms, and we've got plenty of time to be building this up. And as we go up into the bull market, and you get to that point where you're spitting out a million PLS that you can pull while you're still compounding 6 days a week, like, come on, guys. I think that's pretty powerful. Even if it's 500,000 or 2 million, whatever your number is, right? You just set your number there, and you compound, and you get to that point and say, I want to get to the point of having like a million on a weekly paycheck of a million PLS. And imagine what Pulse does. If PLS itself does what, we all believe it's going to do, even if it does a 50x, man. I mean, even if it does a 30x PLS tokens in the height of the bull market, right? You don't need to do 1,000%, 1,000x. We need a 50x. That's, like, come on, right?
Even something a little bit more attainable. Even if we get back to the number and value that we were before the SEC news, that's like a 2x.
Oh yeah, with this, absolutely.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a 2x right there. That's something
right?
that can easily be done, right? So it's a lot of power. It's kind of and it's also like a yin and yang. The faucet and the garden go hand in hand, because you can take profits out of the faucet, sell it for PLS, and you can put the PLS into the garden, or you can take your profits out of the garden and you can put it back into the faucet. So I see we have a question that says, where does the PLS come from? So the PLS comes from the community ultimately, but we actually funded it. The team funded it with about 70 million posts. So when we launched this thing, we put 70 million posts in here, and right now it's grown up to 900 million posts. So there's some posts in there for you guys to go and get.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, and then yeah, another one, right? Let's see, what is this? Oh,
Yeah, Moonshot Max
yeah,
brings up a good point.
yeah, yeah. That's good. It's good stuff here. Do you have? I mean, I don't know. Is there anything else that you want to speak of here right now, or anything that comes to mind? Or
Yeah, so we got this thing off of the ground. Man, it's been crazy. I was actually kind of what I mentioned earlier in the AMA when the guy FQ he came up with the idea from us. He had posted. He actually took a screenshot of when he mentioned the idea and when I came into the chat to talk about it. So literally, like we launched this thing within a 3 week time frame. So to look at that, it was kind of like wow, we actually we moved pretty quick on this one. And so we actually have some other utility projects that we were working on before this. This was something that we just saw a demand for it, and crypto moves quickly, so we felt like we needed to come out and do this. So we put this out, but we also have a utility project called Burn Swap. We're looking to maybe integrating it with PDRIP. So things like maybe implementing farms, single staking. So people who may not have 10 PDRIP to be able to open a faucet, you might be able to do some single staking and earn some rewards and burns. So this is some new alpha for you guys. We also have a game that we've been working on as well. We actually were working on it. I guess you can say it's maybe similar, but it's different to maybe like a DDD. It's called Aqua Blaze. So that's something that will again you could play with Pulse, earn dividends in Pulse, and some of the funds would go back towards buying PDRIP. So these are some things that we plan on implementing, rolling out some things that we're going to be working on development in the future. And of course, some things come up, and the roadmap, sometimes can change. So don't hold me to anything officially, but these are some of the things that we're looking to do because we see there's a lot of opportunity for growth here on Pulse Chain. There aren't a whole lot of projects, trustworthy projects, I would say. And I think people are looking for projects they can feel comfortable putting their investment into, and so we want to take advantage of that and really set a strong foothold on Pulse Chain. So those are some things that we plan on doing here in the near future. Is integrating some more utility with PDRIP.
that's fantastic, man. I was going to ask if there's anything that you wanted to share that's coming up in the future. So there you go. Excellent. Very quickly here, how often are the frequencies of the buybacks?
Immediately. So
There you go, guys.
I mean, there's small buybacks. You might be seeing like $1, $2, $3 or something on the chart. That's what that is.
Yeah. Okay. And where did that go? Yeah, we did want to speak about the teams as well, so we can go over that really quickly. Actually, it's one thing I actually just forgot. So
Yeah,
we've
that's a
got the
good point.
teams here.
Yeah, so this is the team tab. This is we felt like a very integral part in creating exposure because a lot of people are excited to maybe earn some extra, earn some extra PDRIP. So you can do that with the team tab. Now you want to do this after, of course, you get your tokens. So make sure you get your tokens at a good rate. And then before you deposit them into a faucet or before you get into the garden, you want to come over to the team tab and update your buddy address. So this isn't mandatory. If you were to deposit, without doing this, it'll actually go to the dev wallet. We don't intend on doing any airdrops or team building activities from the dev wallet. Instead, we encourage somebody to maybe join a content creator like Crypto Activator. So you can come here, get Activators buddy address. You paste it in here, and you can change it, update that buddy address. So that way, when you make a deposit or get into the garden, Crypto Activator, he reaps the benefits of those rewards. And then in turn, it's not mandatory for him to do so, but in turn, for building a team and for joining his team, occasionally he can give out some airdrops to the team. So that's what that is here. This is something else. I know a lot of team builders. This is funny. I'll post it, but one big YouTuber I mentioned, Stunner Breezy, he got in and he did an airdrop, and he was like, man, you could hear the sigh of relief because as you're a big team builder in Drip, the airdrop system, as you set the parameters for the participants, you had to go in and do a transaction for each participant. And so, especially for guys who build large teams, when you get you got 20, 30 people, that's a lot of transactions that you have to do. It takes a lot of time, so some people don't really, understand what these content creators, what these guys are doing to be able to give back to their community. And we wanted to make it a little easier for them. So it's it's a one transaction. You can send, one airdrop to your whole team in one shot. So that was something that we felt like was really cool. That was something, I experienced as a user, building my team. So there is that. Now, when you do get airdrops, if you scroll up just a little bit, scroll back up towards the top, you'll see where it says rewards wallet. Yeah. So this is where you will receive commissions or you'll receive your airdrops here. So they'll show up here, and you have the option of compounding it into a faucet. Or you can you can actually claim your rewards, but at a 30% tax. So of course we encourage people to compound it into a faucet. You can either enter the number ID into the amount that you want to deposit, or you can actually, if you go back to the faucet tab activator, you come to the faucet and you see where right above to the top right here, it says select. You see that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can select, and you can actually select the faucets and copy it, and then come back over to the team tab and paste in your ID numbers. So that's something that's convenient. And then you can compound all your team rewards into your open faucets. So that's really neat.
Right. Okay. So, but you just need to click this and it compounds it, though, correct?
Correct. So you see, like,
I see. Or you can what you can do, what you're saying is, when you do it this way and you select it, it goes into here without it being compounded?
No. So what I'm saying is you would select it. Yeah, you would select it, copy it, and then you come back over to the team tab.
Yeah.
And then where it says, what does it say? It's hard to read.
Right here, compounding the faucets.
You would paste that in there, and then it would paste the ones that you selected.
Oh, I see. You're just selecting which ones. Okay.
Yeah, and then you can compound. Yep.
Right. Okay. Excellent. And then down here on the airdrop part here, where it says team leader, right? This is where your wallet address is going to be.
Correct.
After you put it, after you get it into your faucet, and then you click claim so that it goes into your wallet, right? And then you go and you put your wallet address in here so that you can then airdrop it from your wallet, right?
Correct. So you can either have, it does need to be liquid tokens that you have. So you either have to claim them from a faucet or maybe buy more tokens so that you have some available to airdrop. And then you could just simply click use my address. It'll pop up your address there since you're the team leader. And then from there, on the right below it on the left side, you can set a budget. Say maybe you want to give out 10 P-drip to your audience, to your team. And then on the right side, you can set parameters depending on how many tokens they need to have. We set some 10, 25, all the way up to, I think, maybe like 1,000 plus tokens that they have in their faucet to be able to qualify. So once you get those, you have those people, you go to get participants. It'll bring up everybody that qualifies. You approve the transaction. And then one more step to actually send the transaction, and it does it all in one shot.
Right. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Question on this, I was wondering is, okay, so when you go and you want to do an airdrop, you select your budget, and then you got, for example, 25 for the minimum. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you're going to now airdrop anybody who has deposited into their faucet a minimum of 25 tokens,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now that's right from the beginning. That's if they've ever deposited 25 in their faucet. Is that correct?
Correct. And it does. There is like a calculation where they need to be net positive. So if for people who maybe just are draining the system and just wanting to get airdrops and they're claiming way more than they have put in or compounded, or even airdrop to other team members, then they won't necessarily qualify. So this would go off of your real deposits.
Right. Okay. Question on that now I'm wondering is, is it possible that, say, for example, you got your minimum of 10. Now that's the minimum to get into a faucet to begin with, right? But is it possible, something that you would consider is, instead of just being from like the beginning, right? Because if you do it this way, if it's just from the beginning, is it possible that somebody would get, the airdrop every week because they've got that 25 in there or that 10 in there, right? Or is there a way that, okay, you've got the airdrop already last week, right? So this week, out of all the new rewards that are coming in, let's do this for the people that are coming in this week. So anybody that's made a deposit into their faucet of 10 P-drip tokens this past week, you're all going to qualify for an airdrop. Is that something doable in the future or not?
So the way we have it set up, it will require a little bit more coding, which could be a little bit difficult because it requires having to, I guess, figure out who's brand new, maybe into the system. But there is something like being a team leader that you could do, that you could possibly organize on your own, based how that you may want to provide rewards to your team members. And we also have the option for the direct airdrop. So if you scroll a little bit lower, you can see the direct airdrop. So this kind of gives you more flexibility. So the top one is more of the team airdrop, where you can airdrop everybody in one fatal swoop. And then the direct airdrop, you can do it more individually. So maybe if you do something where you say, if you have like a Telegram group or a community or Facebook or whatever it may be, and you say, hey, anybody that opens a new faucet and sends me the transaction, or confirms it, sends me a screenshot and show me that they opened a new faucet, I'm going to be giving you XYZ. And then you can individually go and airdrop those people directly without doing it all as a team. So that gives you some flexibility. One way that I used to use it when I had a team, I used to do this. It was a UI that a lot of people like. It was called DripFi. DripFi was really cool, where you did individual airdrops. I never personally, I never liked the team airdrop system because it was so tedious. And so that's one reason why we wanted to change it. But I did the direct airdrops, and what I would tell people is they had to show up in my group and either comment, go like a video, show me that you left a comment, engage with some of my content, and then that would qualify you to receive an airdrop. So I used it as an engagement activity to be able to get it. And that's something that, that I want to just kind of, mention again, because, these guys are not required to give out airdrops. It's just an extra bonus. Don't join somebody's team just because, you want to get an airdrop. Just look at it as a thing, engage with them because you like them, you want to support them, and if they, see fit, then they can give back to you guys and do that thing. So that's something I don't want people to really lose sight of, is, being, stuck on, give me these airdrops, want referral commissions, sometimes you lose track of that, what it's really all about. This is more like an extra bonus, an extra reward to incentivize people to share it, and, incentivize, those people to, engage with the content creators. So this is what it's about. So yeah, we put this in place. So, you do have some flexibility there as a team leader to kind of organize it however you want.
Yeah, that's good. SC Cryptos or S Cryptos got a question here. If you're able to create new faucets with the commissions.
So no, you won't be able to make a new faucet. You would have to claim and open up a new faucet to do it. You can only compound into an existing faucet. You can only receive. You can also only receive airdrops if you have an open faucet. So if you don't, or excuse me, receive commissions if you have an open faucet.
Right. Okay. All right. Excellent. And if there's any other questions here, wrapping up, guys, make sure you just post them in the chat. There's one quick one right here. So wondering about DBank.
Yeah, see, I've been seeing DBank pop up a little bit. I'm a little familiar with it. I've never really interacted with it, myself for other projects, but I see a lot of people asking about DBank. I got onto the website to try to see what we could do about maybe getting listed there. It's a little unclear, like what's needed to get into DBank. So that's something that we're listening to the community. That's something that's popular for the guys. So we're trying to see what we can do to maybe get listed there. I reached out. I had another buddy that does. He helps me get listed on some exchanges and stuff like that. And asked if he knew anything about it. He wasn't sure. So that's something that we're looking at. If you guys have any connections or know anything about how to get listed on DBank, drop it in the chat. Let us know, and then that's something that we don't mind doing for the community.
All right. Okay. Excellent. Well, it's been good. It's been good, guys. We've gone on over an hour now. So any final thoughts, any final words before we shut her down? You guys want to make sure that you smash that like button, drop me a comment down below. It'd be really appreciated. I'd appreciate it very much. And it also help with the community. So yeah, any final thoughts there, Matt?
Man, this has been a cool AMA. It's been cool to get to chat with you and talk to you. I've seen some of your videos and I've seen you in the chat. So it's actually cool to come on here and do this AMA and get to chat with you. I guess the only thing I would just say is stay engaged with the Telegram, guys. Continue sharing this. We have a really cool community that we're building. It's very challenging, to build. Telegram communities. A lot of people don't like to chat; they're just watching and stuff. So we have a lot of people engaged. So that's really cool to see. So let's continue that. As we continue growing, we're very early. So when people come to the Telegram and they see that activity, that's going to look bullish for other investors looking to get in. So I just encourage everybody to follow us on Twitter, get in the Telegram, share. Repost, ask questions. We're very accessible. We try to answer the questions in the chat. And yeah, that's it for me, man. I hope everybody's enjoying it so far, and we'll continue coming out, rolling out updates, and hopefully having this thing last for a very long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you guys, if I always like to encourage people as well is to head on over to the website here, and you'll see you should be able to see this here, right down at the bottom. You got a couple icons there. Make sure you follow on Twitter. Make sure you join the Telegram group chat. That's the best way to really become familiar with the protocols, is to interact with the community, ask your questions, get to know people, right? It's all community based. That's what I believe is really going to be what makes the protocol, what makes something like this, a project like this really, really successful is the community. And the stronger we build this community, the stronger this protocol is really going to be. Absolutely. All right. So yeah, absolutely. We're going to leave. So we'll leave it off with this. This is good. This has been a great AMA. I've really enjoyed, chatting here with Matt. It's been great. So if anybody else or anybody has not yet done so, please make sure you smash that like button, drop a comment down below. And if you are enjoying the content, well, you know what to do. Subscribe, click the bell so you're notified when more videos are posted, especially more AMAs, because I'm quite sure we'll be able to do more of these AMAs coming up here, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we'll leave it at that. Excellent.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for tuning in.